Hi everyone, it is Wednesday, December 1st, and it has been a hot second since I vlogged anything. Like seriously. Ooh, bright sun, sorry. I'm walking outside during my lunch. So today is day one of the Hoe-Athon, and I have not started reading anything for Hoe-Athon. So excited for it to start, but I have obligations to other books. Today, Jen and I are going live to talk about Beating the Rap by Lindsey. This is our first meeting back after the Thanksgiving holiday. We haven't had a meeting in like 2-3 weeks, so yeah. So I'm excited about that, to talk to them all tonight, but I am exhausted, tired, because last night was the last day of NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it is National Novel Writing Month, where you try to write 50,000 words in a month, and basically that's the goal, is to finish your novel. It's like a sprint to get it done. So Monday and yesterday I had live streams, like writing sprint live streams, because I needed to write, I had gotten behind. I needed to write like over 7,000 words in the last 2 days to be able to win. So Monday I had a live stream, didn't last too long. It was like 3.5 hours maybe. And then yesterday, I went live as soon as I got home from work. And I had, friends popping in and out, other writer friends. And we were live for 8.5 hours. We were live until nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. Most of it was writing. Most of it was just writing sprints. But at the very end, it was me, RM Virtues, and Cachet over at Shay with the Hobbies. We stayed on after I won Nano. It was like 11 something when I won Nano. And then we stayed on the live talking about very important things, in the Black community. And I was basically just there to listen. I really loved that I was there to listen. I loved hearing their insights and their experiences, and I was grateful for that conversation. But yeah, so we were live for a very long time. So I didn't end up going to bed until like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I have to wake up at 6 to go to work. So Nicole is tired today, and then I have another live stream tonight, and then I have another live stream tomorrow. So for the live stream tonight, for Beating the Rap, I read that book when it came out, the day it came out, because I had to put, I'm a part of her ARC team, so I had to put a review online. Sorry if that's super bright, because the sun's at my back. But yeah, so I'm a part of her ARC team, so I had to have a review out on the day that the book releases. So that was November 15th. And since today, I have read other books since then, and I wanted to kind of refresh my memory. I did a quick reread, so made little post-it notes and talking points to talk about. So I might start something. Queen did come out today, Queen by Katie Robert. That's the 3rd book in the Bloodlines Vampire series. So I might start that hopefully today. But then I also have to start reading The Burning Maze by Rick Riordan. That's book number 3 in the Trials of Apollo series, because Bria and I are going live for that tomorrow. And I never put books that I have to read for readathons or book clubs in my TBRs. I just never do, because that's a character flaw of mine. But this is Hoe-Athon. I really can't put cozy mysteries and middle grade fantasy in my Hoe-Athon TBR. They're just not hoeing out. Those are my goals, to finish those books and then start reading things for Hoe-Athon. Hi everyone, today is Thursday, December 2nd, and day 2 of Hoe-Athon. Like I said yesterday, last night we were live for Beating the Rap. I will link that in the cards in the description box for you if you do want to watch it. It's a great cozy mystery series if you like cozies. Totally check it out, by Lindsey. Anyway, last night I did start Queen by Katie Robert. For the prompts, this definitely has some breeding kink in it. One of the vampires in this is like, he's a vampire, but he can also shift his form. So it's like it could count for a shifter romance. I don't know what other prompts it's going to work for. I will read and find out, but this is the highly anticipated third book of the Bloodline Vampire series. So definitely like spoilers if you don't, since it's the third book, I don't want to spoil you if you want to read the series. So just fast forward until you don't see a picture of the book anymore. So Mina, she is what they call a Dhampir, which is a half human, half vampire. She basically has, she's basically like a human, honestly. Like, yeah, she's half vampire, but she doesn't have any of their strengths, like at all. In the last book, I think it was the last book, we find out that her mother wasn't even half human, so she's actually something else entirely. Again, don't want to spoil too much. So how the last book ended is that her father has captured her men. Oh, this also works for polyamorous relationship. Duh. Anyway, so yeah, her father has captured her men and she is trying to figure out a way to save them because her father is a dillhole. And by dillhole, I mean he's going to slowly torture them just for the sheer pleasure of it, in the hopes that she will come to the compound and like basically sacrifice herself because she's pregnant with the next quote-unquote heir. So that's basically what her father wants. He wants an heir, and he couldn't care less about her or these other vampires. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm not very far in. I think I'm in like chapter 6 or 7. I tried to read some last night, but I'm like, again, super tired because I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning the other night. And even though yesterday after work, I went home and took a nap into my live stream, and then I went to bed at 10, like 10:30. I'm still super tired. Hopefully I can catch up with some sleep. But yeah, okay, so today's priority, I hope to finish Queen. I don't know if it's gonna happen because I have to finish The Burning Maze by Rick Riordan. Brie and I are going live with that tonight on her channel, so I'll link that for you as well. But I'm 60% of the way through, so I'm definitely gonna finish it before the live stream, finish it in with enough time to also read the rest of Queen today. I doubt it. I mean, I read pretty fast, but that's testing the limits of my superpower. Okay, but yeah, anyway, so just wanted to update you on that. I forgot how to vlog, y'all. I forgot because it's been a while. Even though I was doing NaNoWriMo last month, I didn't vlog a single day. I usually, you know, do when I participate in NaNoWriMo. I vlog, but I didn't. Sorry, maybe I'm vlogged out. I don't know. You get out of the habit. Last year, I was vlogging every week and releasing a vlog every week. This year, I was only doing themed vlogs, and that was a perfect opportunity to do a themed vlog, NaNoWriMo. I don't know. You get out of the habit and you just forget to talk in front of the camera about the books you're reading. So, apologies, but I won NaNoWriMo. Yay! But yeah, I just wanted to update you. Gotta get back in the swing of vlogging. I hope this isn't all over the place. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll update y'all a little bit later. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Saturday, December 4th. So sorry I haven't vlogged since Thursday, I want to say. Yeah, Thursday. Anyway, I finished The Burning Maze in time for the live stream that I had with Brie on Thursday, and then I just went full on for Hoe-Athon. You know, so I was like, I got my other reading out of the way that I had to read for. Now I just went gung-ho for the talent show. Okay, so I read Queen, I told you about that, and then I started A Very Krampus Holiday, which this is not a book that you can buy. Unfortunately, I am a member of Katie's Patreon, so she writes these little shorts like every month. I think it's every month, and this one was, you know, holiday themed, Krampus. I really enjoyed it. She also released some not suitable for work art for her Krampus story, which is available to look at for your viewing pleasure on her Twitter. I'm not going to put it in the video because not suitable for work. So yeah, just head over to Katie's Twitter and you'll be able to see the art. And you might want to just sign up for her Patreon. You'd want to read the story. So anyways, yeah, so Krampus, if we don't know anything about Krampus, I only know from what I read I've read a couple of other Krampus books, but yeah, Krampus is kind of like, he comes for like the bad children who are not good for Christmas, except for like, she's an adult, she's not a child, obviously. They have a pretty good time, I tell ya. There's some spanking in there, but yeah. Anyway, it's pretty, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And then I started, what did I start? So I just decided to bring Twitter up because it's just easier. So for Queen, I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was like a little bit convenient. Everything wrapped up fairly quickly and easily for our characters, which, don't get me wrong, it's fine. But I'm just like, you spend 3 books like planning and suffering to do this one thing, and this one thing seems very easy, but okay. So 4 stars. It worked for the 8 Maids of Milk and Prompt, Thought and Around the Christmas Tree, Red Nose, and White Christmas. So it works for all of those prompts. So I did pretty good with my first read for Hoe-Athon. What did I read next? Like I said, A Very Krampus Holiday. So that worked for a phrase on the Nice Scavenger Hunt board. Good fucking girl. So then I read Ho Ho Ho, a holiday short by Rilsey Adams. I love Rilsey. Oh my god, she's so freaking great. So that worked for the eggnog prompt, That Ain't No Eggnog, for swallowing. And I gave this book 5 stars. So this woman, she is in a bar just getting shit-faced and having a great time with the bartender, and she's telling him all about her woes because she is celebrating that she got a divorce from her husband. Her divorce is final, and she's free and clear of the infection that he gave her from cheating on her for their marriage. He gave her chlamydia. So when she was driving to the doctor's office to get antibiotics for chlamydia, she also called a lawyer, and she got rid of, as the synopsis says, both infections in one go. So she's out celebrating, her divorce is final, her chlamydia is cleared up, and she's having a great time with the bartender, and she's saying how she's gonna ho it up for Christmas, and she's gonna, like, she has this, what did she call it? She was like riding the reindeer or something like that. So she was like looking for men to basically just fuck because she wants to have a good time, and the only person she's ever been with is her husband, and she wants, she wants to have a good time. Then the next Christmas after that, she spends the year hoeing it up, having a great time, and she runs into the bartender again. And she even says, like, tells him, like, I went back to that bar after, and I couldn't find you, and one of the other bartenders said that you didn't have anybody there working by his name. His name is JB. And he's like, oh yeah, I was just covering for a friend, I don't really work there. That was my last night there. And I was like, how serendipitous. I mean, they still met. That was nice. But yeah, they just spent a year, just pining for each other. She goes out on her dates, and he's just hoping nothing but the best for her. So when he finally runs into her, he's like, I wanted you from day one, and I'm glad you got all that out of your system because this is it. I'm the one for you. He's like, I'm the one that's going to be there for you. This is the real deal for me. So it was super cute. I loved it. 5 stars. And then what did I read? And then I read Yours Insatiably by Aveda Weiss. This is book number 2 in the Hunger Duet. The first book was Feed, and that featured Avrin, which is a succubus, and Pi, who is a death moth fairy. Yes. And so when you read Feed, it's literally just one scene. You kind of get a little bit of backstory. They work together and they cannot stand each other. Well, she can't stand him because she's very strict, very straight by the rules, like kind of thing. She does things a certain way. She has to be organized, and he's just kind of like, he's the artist. He's the one that, leaves paint everywhere and, rearranges things just to make her angry. So she cannot stand him, but she uses this monster app. She's a succubus. She uses the app to anonymously feed and protect her identity because nobody in the workplace knows that she's a succubus. The person that comes to her door after she bought some time to feed on the app is none other than Pi. the fairy that she works with and can't stand. So she was just going to feed and that'd be the end of it. She really wanted it for like sex too, but she was like, I'm not going to sleep with them. It would just be too much. So she just feeds, and they kind of like egg her on and talk her, not really talk her into it, but egg her on, and they eventually have sex, which is so freaking hot. And so you just get that scene. You just get their meeting from after that. So this one is longer, and you kind of get the aftermath of them at work dealing with their feelings for each other. In the very beginning, like, weeks have gone by, right? And she's holding out. She's holding out strong. But she finally gives in, and they bang in the storage closet, I think. And right after that, one of her bosses who she works for, because she's under contract with someone else, so they, one of her bosses come and say, like, we just need you to sign some paperwork to renew your contract. So they go, she goes into his office and she reads over the fine print, and there's a no fraternizing policy. Really, it's unfortunate. So she talks to Pi about it, and, you know, she's like, I don't want to lose my job. Like, this is my career we're talking about. And they're very understanding. They're like, yeah, absolutely, you know. What the fuck was that? Okay. But yeah, saying basically, like, I totally understand. We won't continue this. But they're still on board with it. They're like, you know, I won't make a move unless you beg for it. They're that kind of annoying. But anyway, they're like, I know some places where you can go to kind of explore your monster, because she keeps it very under wrap. She doesn't really know a whole lot about herself. And their succubus get a bad rap, obviously, because of the whole, a lot of people still think women who enjoy sex are evil. Anyway, so yeah, it, everything works out because it ends in an HEA, and oh my God, I gave it 5 stars. It was great. So this works for Red Nose because they can shift, and they're not actually shifters, but they can shift their body. Good fucking girl. Yes. And yes, daddy. So those were all the prompts that it worked for. 1 for the actual board, and then 2 for the scavenger hunt boards. The nice board. So I'm kicking butt on the nice board. The naughty board hasn't made an appearance yet. Then the next thing I read was Santa Claus is Going to Town on Me by M.L. Eliza. So we have our main character. What the heck is her name? I don't even know what her name is. I'm sorry. I'll put it here if I remember. She hates Christmas, right? Hates Christmas because when she was a little girl, something happened, and trigger warnings for death of a parent and grief. Just so you're aware. Something happened on Christmas, and she feels like everybody blames her. She blames herself. So she's never in the festive mood around Christmas. One night, she hears something downstairs at her house, and she thinks it's someone breaking into her house stealing stuff. Christmas time, people get desperate. So she goes down there with a broadsword. A broadsword. Personally, I think knives and swords, you get too close to the person who's doing the attacking. Okay, you know, just run, just go. So anyway, she goes down to investigate like any white person in a horror story. I say that like I don't immediately investigate noises in my house. RM, if you're watching this, I know I've told RM some stories. Anyways, and she sees that it's Santa Claus, or a man that looks very close to Santa Claus. He's very big, thick. He has the white hair, white beard, but he doesn't look old. He just looks kind of timeless, and she's immediately attracted to him. But obviously she's like, oh, you're breaking into my house, sir. And he was like, oh, there's like, she figures it out. That's Santa Claus. And he's like, I'm so sorry, I broke into the wrong house, because the presents he was trying to deliver were to an actual small child named Holly. Holly, that's her name. Oh my God. Her name is Holly. And he gets into her house by mistake because there's an address error. Don't ask me how Santa has address errors. Let's just go with it. If there wasn't, there would be a story. So anyways, and he's like, I'm really sorry. You know, I gotta go. Hello, there are 2 billion children in the world. I need to go and deliver some presents. Okay. So, but he's like, there's something between us, I feel like. And she's like, yes, there is. He's like, I very much would like to explore this thing between us. And she's like, so would I. He's like, I gotta go right now, but I'm gonna come back. And she's like, awesome. And he's like, no pressure at all. If you change your mind, I will go. Don't worry about it. And she was like, I'm not gonna change my mind. And neither would I. So the next day he leaves her, he does leave her gifts. He was like, I can't wait for tonight. Choose which one you want to be. Do you want to be naughty or do you want to be nice? I'm like, oh my God. Okay. She chooses the naughty box. Obviously. I would too. But it's like this toy that he built that's like, you ever seen one of those like rosebud clit stimulating toys that like sucks and licks? Yeah, it's exactly like that. And she has a great time with it, obviously. And anyway, after their night of passion, obviously he's freaking Santa Claus. His name is Claus. Claus. Even though it's spelled like Claus, it's pronounced Klaus, like rhymes with house. So they're like falling in love with each other, but he's Santa. He doesn't live here. He lives in like this pocket dimension. And he's alone. There is no Mrs. Claus. She died, unfortunately, and he's very sad about it, centuries ago. So he's alone. There's no elves. He does everything himself. And she's kind of like, Holly's kind of like, this can't fucking work. Like, I live here. He lives there. He's got a job to do. A very important job. But she's also kind of resentful because of what happened when she was a little girl. She thought she was just so bad of what happened. Like, she blames herself. And she thought she was really a bad girl, evil, because Santa never came after that to give her presents. That is explained. And it's very sad. He's like, you know, I'm just a man. I'm not some omnipotent being. Like, mistakes happen. You know, sometimes, you know, kids aren't where they're supposed to be, like at their house, and presents don't get delivered. And she was like thinking of that night of what happened. Her and her mom actually stayed with their aunt. So she wasn't at home. So that's kind of like, but after that, she believed she was such a bad girl and she stopped believing in Santa. So that's why, you know, Santa doesn't come and give you presents anymore, is when you stop believing in Santa. It's not because you're bad. It's because you stop believing. He explains it and she's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So like, you're asking yourself, this is a romance. How is there going to be an HEA? Well, let me tell you, the second gift that he gave her on that day, when that's the naughty and nice box, the nice box, is actually, it was like a necklace and had a charm, and it was a way for her to go in between the worlds. So her world and then his world. And so they're like, you can come and go as you please. Like, I'll be busy, obviously, making presents, but please come whenever you would like. Time works differently here because I have to make all the presents for all the children. So it won't pass the same as if I stayed in your world. So it was like, it took like 2 weeks or something, or like 2 months, where she finally just moved in. Silly girl. Why say no in the beginning? But yeah, it was so good. I really liked it. So 4 stars. So this is obviously for the Santa Claus prompt. I saw mommy fucking Santa Claus. Also White Christmas. Cum showers. Also eggnog, and you taste so good. So I got a lot for that one too. And okay, so that brings us, I'm so sorry. That brings us to today. Today is a cleaning day. So I had to find an audiobook. So for that, I decided to listen to Caught for Christmas by Sky Warren. And I was listening to it while I was shampooing the carpets. I still have to do the dishes, so I'll probably try to find one more audiobook. But this didn't work for a damn single thing. No prompts covered at all. But it was still really good. So we have our main character. Again, I don't know her fucking name. Bree. Her name is Bree. No, it's B. Because her name is Bianca. Okay, B. She has terrible parents. Let's just say this. She's 18. She works, it used to be a strip club. Now it's like a burlesque because it came under new management. So now it's like a burlesque show. Her parents, who she doesn't even call mom and dad, that's how terrible they are. They're in some sort of a bind. They borrowed money from someone, the mafia, and they can't pay it back. And her mother, Maisie, comes to her saying, like, you need to help us. We're desperate. They took your father as collateral to make me, like, if you don't pay the money, we're going to kill him, kind of thing. So that just makes them extra desperate. And so they come up with a plan for her to steal from the burlesque club that she works at because it's very successful business. But the problem is she really likes the head security guard. His name is West. He is a delicious looking man. Who they have, the girls that work at this club, they call him Boy Scout because he doesn't look at them like sexually as sexual objects. He's very professional, and he also takes really good care of them. Like our first scene when she's walking home from a shift, and she gave her mother all the money that she had to kind of help try to pay off the debt, but it wasn't enough, obviously, because they had borrowed like $50,000. So she's starving. She's giving her all of the money that she makes to help pay off this debt, and she can barely survive off of like her rent, and she's basically living off ramen noodles. So when she's walking home, she pickpockets some rich assholes that are leaving this building, this high-end restaurant, and she's like, you know what, they'll never miss it. So she gets their wallet, this one guy's wallet, and she just gets the cash. She doesn't care about the IDs or the cards, the credit cards or anything. She just wants the cash because she wants a good fucking meal one damn night, okay? So, and then she's caught. She's caught by West. He's actually following her because he worries about her because she's lost weight, and in all honesty, he has been looking out for her since day one, which I think is super sweet. But anyway, he's the Boy Scout, so she kind of like drops the money and kind of runs. And he probably returns it to the owner because that's just who he is as a person. But yeah, anyway, so that's when, that morning is when her mom comes and is like, they have your dad. And she's like, we got to make a move on this place tonight. Or she's like, Christmas Eve. And B is like, this is too soon. Like, I don't even know if I can crack the safe that's in there, you know? Let alone get past the security. Like, we need a code. Like, there's no way that we can make this happen in however many days it is. It's very soon to Christmas Eve. And she's like, don't worry about that. I'll have the code for you, blah, 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 blah. And so Christmas Eve comes, the strip club or the burlesque club is closed, and she comes, her mom has the security code. How? I don't fucking know. Suspicious? Yes. And she goes in and she gets caught. Guess who's there? West. Because he's not fucking stupid. And who gave her mom the security code? His buddy, Blue, who he had heard through the grapevine that somebody was paying money for the security code of the Grand. And so West has this brilliant idea to give it to them and set a trap. And so that's what they did, and she's trapped. But he doesn't do what you expect. He does duct tape her to a chair, though. He duct tapes her to a chair, but then he feeds her food. And it's the exact food that he promised her when he asked her out on a date once. And super good, and he's feeding to her because she's duct taped to the chair. And then when she's full, he goes down on her. Yeah. And she goes to reciprocate, but he's like, no, we can't do it here. Like, you know, I want you free and clear. I don't want you if you're trying to pay off some debt. I don't want you because you're trying to get out of this situation. I want you because you want me and nobody else. And that eventually will happen, but it's not today. She eventually, her wrist gets loose because he obviously didn't tape her that well, because he actually doesn't really want to hurt her, and she escapes because he lets her, and she goes outside where her mom is waiting. Obviously it's been some hours she's been down there, and her mom knows that she doesn't have the money, and her mom is like, yo, we got to go back in. Like, and she's like, you're stupid. They're going to be expecting me. Like, we got to leave town. And she was like, no, like, we can't. And she was like, okay, I'll go to Ivan. Ivan is the guy who used to own the club. He's like, maybe he can help us. We'll basically like beg. We'll beg if we have to. Ivan seems to be like a pretty nice guy. And her mom's like, her mom is very adamant at the no. She's like, no, we can't bring anybody else into this. And blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Wes comes out and he's like, why don't you ask your mother why? Ask her about the money. Ask her if your dad is really taken. Her dad was never really taken. They just wanted her to be desperate enough to try and rob the grand. Her parents are terrible. And she was like, how could you all do this? Like, how is my father okay with this? And her mom was like, it was his idea. I was like, what a bitch. What a bitch. But yeah. So he was just hiding out, and they were just becoming desperate because they owed their money very quickly. West takes B to his place, and his friend Blue says that her parents skipped town. And that's not really good because the people that they owe the money to still want their money. And so they're going to come after her because that's their daughter. It's like they don't care who they get it from. Your relations, anybody. They want their money back. And so West is like, I'm going to protect you. Like, you don't have to worry about it. He's like, I have to go. I will deal with this. And then the night that he's gone, her dad comes to his house. Like, he knows that she's living with him. I mean, staying with him. They're not really living together. And he was just like, I've heard that you're being held hostage. She's not being held hostage. I'm here to save you. We're going to go and leave town and we can be a real family. They're not going to be a real family. And she even said that. She's like, we were never a real family. And then she hears something behind the door. Like, you had your chance to convince her. Now it's my turn. It's these mafia people and saying, hey, girl, come on out. And so obviously she does because there's still that feeling in her heart that this is my dad. This is my dad. And I don't think that ever goes away, no matter how shittily they treat you. So she goes out there to try to trade herself for the life of her dad. But West is there, West and Blue, and they save the day and happily ever after. So everything's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, it was a good book. I gave it 4 stars, but it just didn't work for any prompts. But so I'm going to find another audiobook, but because I'm still not done cleaning, but I just wanted to update you because I read a lot. And I will talk to you later. Bye. Hi, everyone. It is Tuesday, December 7th, and it's been a couple days since I talked to y'all, but I just wanted to update y'all after Saturday, and I believe the last book I talked to you about was Caught for Christmas by Skye Warren. So Sunday I had a live stream for The Doctor by Nikki Sloan for the Swoon Sisters. So I ended up reading that one. So instead of going too much into it, I'm just going to link the live show in the cards and in the description box for you so you can check that out if you want to. I did end up liking it. Age gap, boyfriends, ex-boyfriend's dad, tropes. But I did like it. I gave it 4 stars. I can't remember off the top of my head how many prompts it worked for, so I'll just show pictures of the bingo board and the scavenger hunt boards. So Sunday, that's what I did Sunday. I read that book, and then I also finished Bad Santa by Kirutai. This was kind of like a prequel novella to another series of hers, and I'm really interested in reading that series because it was so good. It was kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say mafia, but this guy, Asaji Peters, he is in like organized crime, and he finds out that he was stolen from, and he is in the business of swift retribution, if you know what I mean. But things get a little complicated because as soon as he lays eyes on the thief's sister, he is immediately attracted to her, and the attraction is mutual. So he kidnaps her, basically, like, he takes care of her, like, he doesn't hurt her except when she tries to run away. But yeah, they were looking for her sister, who was the thief, and hold on. Sorry about that, a patient came in. Let's try to wrap this up. They, grow closer, and their attraction, and it grows stronger, and it seems like he really just wants to take care of her. He's really, even though he is kind of like extreme in the retribution, he is like a fair man. The only reason why our female main character, our heroine, like runs away again is because she finds a room full of pictures of him and another woman and their son. So she thinks like he's married and has been lying to her this whole time. So that's the only reason why she runs away like the second time. But then Osagi's like, you've basically lied to me the last time, like you've betrayed me the last time. And he's like, I'm too old for this. It's like I've had one woman lie and betray me, and I'm not gonna do it again. So he takes her and her sister to like this sex dungeon, and she's trying her best not to be left there because she knows if he leaves, he'll never come back. She will never see him again. So she's trying to plead her case at this time, and he's basically like, prove your loyalty. He gives her a gun and he's like, shoot your sister's partner who was in on it with her. Like, show me where your loyalties lie, basically. And so she doesn't shoot him, she shoots at him and like misses. Okay, I had to move because there are patients in the waiting room now, and I can't be talking about this stuff when there are patients in the waiting room. Anyway, so she basically is like pointing the gun at him, both of them, really, and it was just like, you're gonna pay back the money that you stole because you have to learn what's right and what's wrong, and that there are consequences for your actions. And she basically like threatens them with the gun as soon as they're like, yeah, we promise we'll pay it back, and the other people are like, well, basically we'll be watching you, kind of thing. But anyway, he's like, okay, great, thanks, I'm gonna go now, bye. And she's like, well, wait, what the heck? So she follows him to his club. And basically he's like, you kidnapped me, so you're stuck with me. And the reason why it's called Bad Santa is because at the end of the book, he's actually plays, like, he dresses up as Santa Claus to go to an orphanage, and hands out presents to kids. And I was like, that's so freaking cute. So yeah, that was my Sunday. And yesterday, Monday, I started reading The Lights on Knockbridge Lane by Roan Parrish, which is a men loving men romance. It was super cute. Oh my god, it was so cute. So we have Adam, who moves back to Garnet Run. He grew up there as a kid, and he's a single parent trying his best to give his daughter like the best Christmas, so she doesn't think about how her other papa, Adam's significant other partner, left and didn't want to be a family anymore. So, and they kind of meet the reclusive neighbor because Gus, his daughter, breaks into the man's basement because he keeps all kinds of like bugs and lizards, and she's really into that. So that's how they meet, and they kind of bring the recluse, his name is Wes, out of his shell just in time for Christmas. So cute, so cute. I also started reading Bayou Christmas Disappearance, and then also Shadow Seduction. So hopefully I will finish one of those books today. And there, you are all caught up. I will talk to you later. Bye.